Iowa State, Kansas State, Dublin, Ireland, week 0. It is prediction time, friends. Here we go. We're going to do a brief rundown. We're going to predict this game. Now, before I get into this, just a quick disclaimer, all right? I am not a college football expert by any stretch. I'm not someone that's going to die on the hill that my opinion is correct and I'm never wrong. If I'm wrong on my predictions, I will be the first to tell you, man, I got that one wrong. If you guys disagree with me, that's totally fine. I love a healthy debate. Let's keep it healthy. Let's keep it, not toxic. I just do this out of strictly my opinion and the love for college football. So with that being said, let's go ahead. Let's run through some keys to the game for me, what I'm going to be looking for, and I'll give you my prediction here shortly. All right, let's start with Iowa State. This is going to be a good football team this year. All right, friends, a very good football team. And it starts with Rocco Becht at quarterback, returning production. Rocco Becht had a good year last year. I really look forward to seeing what he can do in this football game. He's got some weapons, right? He's got 2 big transfer receivers that I'm looking forward to watching. Chase Sewell, Xavier Townsend are just 2. Now, when you look at Iowa State's depth chart that they released prior to this football game, there's a lot of ore, okay? A ton of ore on that receiver spot. Really just that position in general. We're going to see a lot of bodies rotating in and out at the receiver position, So that's going to be something to watch for. What production did they get out of that? Rocco Becht has the arm. He has the talent. Now, there's 9 returning starters on this offense, give or take. A lot of experience on that Iowa State offensive line. They do have size. That's going to be something to watch for. Now, how effectively can they run the football? Carson Hansen, I'm watching for him. 819 yards and 13 touchdowns last year on, I want to say like 130 some odd carries. So extremely productive running back. Again, experienced offensive line, a little bit of movement on there. We might see some different guys starting at different positions on the line, but guys that did start and played valuable snaps last year. So how effective can that Iowa State offense be? Now, on the defensive side of the ball for the Cyclones, a 3-3-5 defense that'll play a 4-2-5 at times. I'm interested to see what defense coordinator John Heacock does in this game. All right, Avery Johnson and his legs, that threat that it poses may force Iowa State to have to play a 4-2-5 more than they like to play a 3-3-5. I look for that. X factor on that defense, I look for Tamatoa McDonough, and I may have pronounced that completely wrong. Stud of a defensive end. How well can he cause havoc? How quick can he get in the backfield? What formation and what pressure do they try to put? And how well can they keep Avery Johnson contained inside the pocket? You can't let his legs kill you. That's what I'm looking for the Cyclones. Let's briefly talk about Kansas State, all right? Chris Kleiman's team is solid this year. They return a good amount of production as well. It starts with quarterback Avery Johnson. What I look for in this game, how well can Avery Johnson throw the ball? He struggled a little bit last year with turnovers. It wasn't his best season. I think he's only going to improve now. Lots of experience for him. He plays with a lot of swagger. His legs are the big factor to watch for. How many times can Avery Johnson extend plays? Off balance, off platform, make something happen out of what looked like nothing. That's going to be the big one for me. Dylan Edwards is huge. Out of the backfield, in the backfield, carrying the football. Kansas State may have one of the deepest running back rooms in the Big 12 Conference. There could very well be 4 guys that get, consistent touches in this football game, but it starts with Dylan Edwards and his production. Now, on the offensive line, we could see nearly an 8-man rotation on that offensive line. And it's led by center Sam Hecht, all Big 12 second team last year. I think he's got a good chance of being first team this year. He's a big body boy. A lot of talent and a lot of size. This may be one of Kansas State and really Chris Kleiman's most talented teams he's had. This is a team that's hungry and has a lot of big expectations. So for the receiving core, all right, Jace Brown, they keep him. That is huge. He comes back. He's probably going to be their biggest threat. They also have Jaron Tibbs and Jerrond Bradley. 2 big guys, 6'2" for Tibbs, 6'5" for Bradley. So Jace Brown poses that speed threat. Those 2 guys pose size. So how effective can they push the ball downfield? And those guys can win 50-50 balls. So you think about what Avery Johnson can create and extend with his legs and those threats out wide. That's huge for that K-State offense. On the defensive side of the ball, Joe Klanderman, he's going to have his hands full. We know Iowa State can effectively move the ball. They're going to try to run the ball well. I look for linebackers Purnell and Romaine to play a good game. They're going to have to fill the run box. How effectively can they slow Hansen down, force Rocco Becht to have to make plays? That's going to be something to watch for. Cody Stufflebean, defensive end, he's my X factor overall on that K-State defense. Curious to see him. They too also like to play a 3-3-5 or a 4-2-5. I think a lot of that's going to depend on what Iowa State's game plan is. I think we're going to find out quick in that first drive what either of these offenses want to do. That is the big one. Prediction time. I think K-State wins this football game. I like Avery Johnson. I love Chris Kleiman. I like this team. I think there's a sour taste in their mouth from Iowa State beating them last year and kind of closing their season off. K-State didn't end on the best note last year. I think they right the wrongs. I think this is going to be a close game. Now, the line sits at -3 favored towards K-State. I do think Kansas State covers this. I think they'll either be right at 3. I could see this game being like 31-28. I think it may start a little bit slower, but I'm taking K-State. I like the Wildcats. I like Avery Johnson's ability to extend plays and create. I think this K-State defense can force a turnover or two at some point in this football game, and I think they're deep. They have a great offensive line with tons of talent. I like the Wildcats to win this football game. That's all I got, friends. I am excited for this game. Again, if you disagree, let me know, but let me know why. Let's keep it friendly. Love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.